Ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome to our guests amidst us, the two authors we have here this evening. Let me begin by saying something very profound, and this is not coming from me, it's from the book. It's not a crime to be poor, Gobind, but to not have a mission is unpardonable offense for you. For being unjust to those who are so willing to sacrifice their all just to see you so high. So these are words from this book, Gobind. But how many of us sitting here have heard these words? Have any of you heard these words before as well? No, nobody? Really? I'm surprised. Oh, well, okay. I thought a couple of us must have heard this because I've heard these words before. So, to have a mission in life or to enable somebody else achieve his or her mission in life, how do we decide between this complex duality? Does having a degree make you literate, or can an illiterate be wise and beyond book knowledge? That is again something which is very profound and something which comes out from this book, that sometimes we think just because we have been to a school or we have been educated in a good university or a college, that we are knowledgeable. But sometimes the people who are illiterate have that common sense or that sense of something which is very innate in them, and it's very simple, it's humble, and it's there. And one is amazed sometimes by their simplicity and their wisdom. So again, that is something which comes out very beautifully in this book. I'm sure during the interview, that is something which you'll hear a lot more about. Again, another emotion that is touched upon is friendship. Is it a boon or is it a curse? So it's my honor and proud privilege to welcome the author of the book, Gobind, Mr. Harinder Sikka, amidst us. He was sitting very quietly in the corner at the back. So ladies and gentlemen, so if I could request you to come here. So Mr. Sikka, as you all know, and many of you know, that he's a prolific writer, and he has written many books. Among them is Calling Sehmat, which was made into a movie which went on to be one of the big hits of Bollywood. But Mr. Sikka, in addition, is also the group director, strategic business at the Piramal Group. He has written more than 100 newspaper articles on national security, health, IPR, and counterfeiting. So as I just said, his movie Razi was made by Meghna Gulzar, and it was an adaptation of his book, Calling Sehmat. Another movie which he has produced, Nanak Shah Fakir, was awarded the Nargis Dutt Award for the best feature film on national integration. A round of applause, gentlemen, ladies. This film was also, it also received many accolades at the Cannes Film Festival, the Toronto Film Festival, and the Los Angeles Film Festival. Mr. Sikka is a former lieutenant commander of the Indian Navy and is the recipient of many awards. I'm not going to start saying that because the list will be endless. He's also a very keen golfer, and he has been hosting 2 very prestigious golfing events on behalf of the Piramal Group. So ladies and gentlemen, we have Mr. Harinder Sikka, the author of the book Gobind, sitting in front of us. I would request Mohan Ahluwalia ji to come and welcome him with, what should I say, a pot of flowers, a pot of plant, a jade plant. And in conversation with him, we have Preeti Chaturvedi, a writer herself. Ladies and gentlemen, she is the Chief Executive Officer of the sunflower seeds. Yeah, the sunflower seeds. I've been repeating it to myself and I got it wrong, so apologies for that. She is the Chief Executive Officer of the Sunflower Seeds. It's a brand literary consulting company. She published her first book, Corporate Blogging, in 2009. She's a cinema enthusiast and has written a book, Brave New Bollywood. I think many of us might be interested in that as well. With more than 15 years of experience in brand and content, she ran the first ever structured brand integration in literature and was able to garner an online reach of more than 100 million from conceptualizing to running digital content campaigns. She was awarded the Woman of Excellence in 2019 at the World Economic Forum. I think that really deserves a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Now to try the digital screen, if you bear with me for a minute. Technology can sometimes outflummox us. Has it come? No? Okay. Maybe we'll try it again. Oh, perhaps something is there. It is, yes. So, can you read what's written there? न हम किया न कर सकेंगे न कर सके शरीर जो जिया तिस हरि किया बोलो कबीर कबीर. So with those powerful words, over to you, Preeti, and looking forward to a very engaging conversation here.
Thank you.
We had to welcome you. I just forgot. Could I request Mr. Raj Sharma to welcome Preeti, please?
I have had the privilege to be in conversation with Sir on some occasions before this. And I know, Sir, that you've talked at many such occasions about the fact that you are an accidental author and filmmaker. And I'm sure the audience here would love to know the backstory behind how you came, from Navy into writing and now into filmmaking. So if you could just share a few anecdotes there.
Thank you very much, Vasant Vihar Club, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor to be here, and for a Navy officer, retired, it's indeed a privilege. I believe it. I'm not saying it. I believe I'm an accidental author. Except that I have a passion for whatever I like to stand up doing. I quit Navy when I was nobody. Just a lieutenant commander means, Commander A.P. Singh is here, he will tell you that you don't get pension if you don't finish 20 years of service. And I was not very well off. But there was this huge urge between these 2 years in a mind space, 6 inches mind space, that life should not just move around on a constantly moving rail at 40 kilometers per hour. And that is when I quit Navy. 1993-94, I joined Piramals. And that is the time when I realized that there is a wind out there, the tailwind. Suppose I spread my wings and flew a bit. So I began writing articles. And I would definitely talk to God, and I still do. People think that, oh, there's no God. Many people, atheists, think that. But I have talked to God and all the time, and I have received responses. I can prove it to you. Actually, it's so beautiful that I'll prove it to you today while we're talking. Sahmat came as a God's messenger to me, and I'll prove it to you. So while in Navy, I would often watch a film, Fiddler on the Roof, Topol, and I would sing to myself, if I were a rich man, and I would question that God, invisible God, boss, ye theek nahi ho raha hai. You know, motorcycle mein phasa diya, everybody is driving a car. And I always felt that there was some response for me. And when the car came in, I said, no, this is not good enough. Maturity, ye thoda chota sa, Maruti 1000, something like that. Sedan came. Said, no, somebody I know flies a Phantom. You know. And then suddenly came Sahmat to my life. And what had happened that in 1999, when the Kargil battle theatre war took place, I was president of the Ramal group. So I sent them a temporary kind of resignation that I have some Navy's salt is running in the blood. I must go back to the battle theatre. So I went to battle theatre. Obviously, a service officer, retired military officer. I also have a record of firing largest number of surface-to-air missiles when I was in the Navy. And trained by Navy into what extent. I won't be sitting there and writing articles for the Javans. So when I came back, there was no skin on my forefinger. I will not expand this information further. But the army did not like it. A retired commander sitting in army bunkers giving orders. They called it barking orders. And when I was brought down forcibly, I questioned them that you guys are traitors. How can army enemy be sitting over our head and we are caught unawares? We are traitors. So one officer stood up and said, you know, my mother wasn't. Till that point, I thought I was a very brave man. I left my parents, family, everybody, friends, went to battle theatre. I thought I was a brave man. When I started digging up Sahmat, I realized here was a woman who sacrificed all of herself, a Kashmiri Muslim woman, for the sake of her watan. I went to her, interacted with her. 5 minutes maximum she would give me. Maler Kotla. I asked her, why are you in Maler Kotla? She says, you know, Abdul lived here. Who was Abdul? Oh, he was Said's very close family servant, but like a family member. What happened to him? She hesitated. And that is the time when I pushed it. Tell me. She said, he died. How? I crushed him under a 3-tonner truck in Pakistan. There was dampness in her eyes. I will one day release her pictures when I get a permission. But seeing her pictures, you will realize that she couldn't have killed a mosquito. Crushed Abdul under 3-ton truck. So she, while talking, said that वो जो आवाज़ है उसके बोन्स के चर्न होने की, वो आज भी मेरे दिमाग को खलबली मचा देती है. You know, women are not born killers, they are mothers, माँ, givers. So क्यों मंदा आखिए जित जम्मे राजान, why demean her who gives birth even to king, said Guru Nanak. Where is the world's largest female infanticide? Punjab. We don't believe in Guru Nanak, ladies and gentlemen. हम गुरु नानक के नाम पर धंधा करते हैं. In Nanak Shah Fakir, it has now got 19 crore views. Everybody loves it. 3 national awards. These are all Sehmat's blessings. I asked whoever I spoke to that this film should earn something which is beyond money. There you go. The film was released and screened in Capitol Hill also. Rashtrapati Bhavan, Dr. Pranab Mukherjee screened it. 3 national awards out of the blues. You think that I, who can't take a picture with a camera, can make a film like this? Patanjali wrote thousands of years ago that you are what your deep driving desire is. As is your desire, so is your will. As is your will, so is your deed. As is your deed, so is your destiny. It's as simple as that. And I'm a chalta phirta answer for you. So when I started writing, I would send one chapter to Sehmat. 8,000 words, 7,000 words. She would cut it down and make it 2,000. Okay, you're overdoing it. I was thinking that I'm still conservative. I've not written my best. But the fact is that she was an angel for me. When I disclose her pictures, I have dozens of them standing 6 inches above the ground. She had turned into an angel. I kept pushing her, give me this technique. Ye technology kahan se aa gayi? You can levitate yourself. She says, this route will not take you to God. Forget it. If you do not wish to earn profit, this is what she taught me. If you do not want to earn money, you can never go in a loss. Nanak Shah Fakir was made in 40 crores. How could I have made it? It is 19 crore views. How much money? I don't know. Book Calling Sehmat was printed in 6 languages. Of all the people in the world invited by Jeffrey Archer in his London home, and he says, which I've quoted many times, the writing in your book is missing. I was kept scratching on my head. ये कह क्या गया? बेइज्जती कर रहा है कि इज्जत कर रहा है? Writing is missing. You know. So when you are passionate about something, and you can be passionate about that pastry over there, anything that comes to your mind, ladies and gentlemen, age is no bar. At 70, you can be something very phenomenal. At 7, you can be equally that. Nobody decides your age. You do. That is what I learned. So coming back to the point, these miracles kept occurring to me, and she said that when you make this film, don't borrow money, don't bring income home. So I said, are you crazy? 40 crore, give me your revolver, I'll go to bank, I'll make 2 movies. But the fact is that it happened. I'll not go detail into Calling Sehmat, I have to talk about Gobind. But I'll give you one incident which will show you that if you have faith, somebody listens. So we were in Bhuj and we had to shoot Nanak's journey to Mecca. But no ship was available. Old ship, which can show wooden boat, sails and stuff. And I had 500 people in Bhuj spending 25 lakhs per day. It was a hell of a task. So I was in Gandhinagar, I got down, I was in the airport, I was heading towards the exit. I saw one man generally, kurta pajama mein. If you saw him, you would pass him as some bus ka conductor. I had the cheek to ask him, Bhai Sahab, koi boat chahiye? Just like that. मिल जाएगी कहीं से, आपको जानते हैं. He looks at me, takes his pen out, writes a number and gives it to me. भुज में हनीफ नाम का एक आदमी है, उससे बात करिए, बोट मिल जाएगा. And he goes away. How on earth is this possible? So I go to Bhuj, I speak to Hanif. Hanif tells me boat है, चोक्स पे चढ़ी है, उतार नहीं सकते because 24 को 24th of June 2013 हाई टाइड आएगा, ये उतरेगी. 15 days this boat will have to stay in water for the water to mix around with wood because wood is dry, let it swell, and then it can sail. I said, I have no time. 25 lakhs per day, 15 दिन में I'll go bankrupt. So he says, sir, collector will not allow you to sail. I said, all right. I dialed Chief Minister's number. So my dialing Chief Minister's number is one aspect of life. Chief Minister comes online. He calls me back to Gandhinagar. He says, crazy. I said, yes, I am. So he says, सरदार जी ऐसा नहीं होता है, आपके पास लाइफ जैकेट नहीं है, लाइफ बोट नहीं है. आई एक्सप्लेन्ड इट टू हिम. होगा तो ये, अब आपने कोई रास्ता देना है. ही सेज ओके, मैं देखता हूँ. बाय द टाइम आई रीच्ड, आई वाज परमिटेड. Collector was told one word. 24th of June, I sailed out. Please listen it. That's why I'm saying have faith. The book, I was allowed 1 mile into the ocean. I sailed 25 miles because song had to be done properly. Came back. 25th of June 2013, we sailed out again. At 5 p.m., we sailed back alongside jetty. Only 5 meters of water was, some 10 feet of water was left in the docks. People got out. We were not using digital cameras. We were using Kodak film. Kodak की जो film आती है. I kept one camera ready. I don't know why. But this is intuition. The boat sank. I knew, ladies and gentlemen, all the way 2 days, something is happening. Somebody is doing something. You call it Nanak Naam Jahaz hai. Nanak had no religion. He did not make Sikhism as a religion. He made it as a way of life. We have converted it to a dhanda. So when I use this word, the Akalis got annoyed with me. So I asked them this question. I said, most modern religion in the hands of those who are fifth fail, they blew out of there, my purpose was very simple. Profit nahi chahiye. तो ये नुकसान कैसे करेंगे ये लोग? Coming back to the point of the next book, Vichoda. Now, one guy called Mr. Samar Khan came to me. He said in 2008 that I want this book. So I said, all right, 1.5 crores I want. And I will decide the actor and director. He sat up like this. And he told me, I've come from Red Chilies. I did not know, honest to God, that Red Chilies belongs to Mr. Shah Rukh Khan. So I said, you can belong to any chili, but these are my conditions. So while going back, he made a statement to me that we are going to use this book. Do what you like. We'll give you credit. His bad luck, I went to Mr. Chibba. Major Chibba, Gauri's father, used to play golf with me. I went and told him, okay, this is happening something. I used something else, but I was not proper. So he says, मुझे note दे दो. I received an apology within 15 days time from Samar Khan on Red Chili's letterhead. But हम तो सरदार हैं. हमने उसको YouTube पे डाल दिया. तो सारे नाराज़ हो गए. बॉलीवुड बहुत जल्दी नाराज़ हो जाती है आपसे. And Red Chili's Sikhs are taking, is undone, not done. I don't think it has ever happened again because nobody takes them on, it seems. 2008, this is what happened to me. In 2018, for 10 years, the book wasn't sold. But I did not wilt 1.5 crores plus interest of 10 years. The price was going up. Then came Times of India, Jungli Pictures. Same conditions. I will decide who will direct, act, and this is the money. So finally they said, all right, Jaan chodo, le lo. But I can put conditions, but God had its own way. Razi was changed. Razi made 300 crore. It did not matter to me, ladies and gentlemen. I've seen enough money with Piramals. I realize that sometimes you become so rich, you do not know how poor you are.
Wow.
So I had no connection with that money coming. Anyways, that money was going to a girl child, whatever my share. Directly. There was a reason why I told them send it directly, because suppose mere paas mein wo paisa aa jaye and mera heart डोल जाए रख लूँ तो वो ठीक नहीं होगा. Why get into a trap? So I took on Gulzar, open it, Arnab Goswami show. I took him, beat him black and blue on the in words that you have cheated me. Mr. Gulzar, none less, because he dialed Penguin and said delay the launch of the book. Meghna changed the scenes in the end as if a Kashmiri Muslim woman had done a blunder fighting for India. She removed the tricolors and showed Pakistani flags. See it very carefully. This is how they play that tag of Karachi money, whatever happens. But you stood up. It's otherwise a well-made film. But there was a blessing that was happening to me all the time. The next book came, Vichoda. Story of a Sikh woman who was separated from her two children at the age of, when the children were 9 months and 2 years old. 2 trips to Pakistan, searching, more searching, digging in. How do you write, ladies and gentlemen? I cannot. I'm an accidental author. Unless and until your shoe is in that foot, you cannot do justice to that book. So I asked a question to this lady, how did you on earth kill an SHO in 1955 who was 6 feet 2 inches in height, big Pathan? The answer is a lesson for all of us. She said, there's a God residing in me is bigger than any enemy outside. Now, what is missing in us is faith. Living in metropolitan, we start thinking of consequences before we come to a solution. What will happen if this word "if" is leader in our mind? Remove that "if" and question God. I'm going to do that. Do it for me. Oh, he's not a boss. Treat him as a friend. It will happen. Trust me, it will happen. One fine day, I'm fond of golf. I went to a peacock in golf course and I said, I want to feed him when his feathers are up. The peacock never eats like that. So I said, no, listen to me. Every day that peacock will eat out of my hand, but he'll not spread the feather. So I'll come and complain to him. Boss, you're not listening to me. अपने आप को boss बोलते हो world का. Now, out of the blues, I have pictures, I can show it to you, I can share the videos with you. That one number peacock by the name Raja eats out of the hand, spreads his wings, and then he comes to me and then he goes away. You think it is impossible? If I can make films, 40 crore, how on earth? And then came the third book, Gobind. Now, writing is a very difficult challenge. Somebody like me who has never done anything like this, I learned writing from Yashwant Sinha. In 2007, he was a finance minister, wrote an article against him. It became a star question in parliament, and he summoned me. The title of the article is, you must read it, "Have some sympathy, Mr. Sinha, you are budgeting nightmares for cancer patients." He had put 25% duty on that drug. And I wrote it, and the article in the Indian Express said, author is president of Piramals. And I was summoned. It became a star question in Parliament. But that article had every emotion of mine. How can a minister who goes out abroad for treatment free of cost be charging poor patients for chemotherapy related drugs? And when I was summoned in his office, there was no chairs opposite his table. I was made to stand. What an honor stroke humiliation, as you may like to take it. That I shook him up so much that he had to make me stand. I gave him an apology. It said that my pent-up anguish, this. It was not to individually hurt you, para 2. I, however, stand by my article. And he said, guest lost. Next 2 days later, Shakti Sinha, Vajpayee ji's chief secretary, the secretary says, Saab bulate hain, Baap ji bulate hain. He says, ab kya kar diya? Because I had done something previously also, something equally. So I said, sir, is this all right? Aren't we ashamed? Are we a government? He says, all right, I'll see. What happened? I was summoned again in Finance Ministry a week later. And the Finance Minister threw that memo on me. Here, this is ordinance in your name, show cause. What will you have? I said, sir, filter coffee. Cochin se aaye ho, filter coffee. I was trained in Navy in Cochin. Sit down. Though there were chairs now. The minister had changed. Yashwant Sinha was sacked. This is Sahmat doing, or somebody angel doing. Jaswant Singh ji was sitting in front of me, and he says, this is ordinance, is the only ordinance since independence of independent India, which is in the name of an individual. It says that the government is pleased to remove all the taxes on every life-saving drug. अगर आपको पैसे से डर नहीं लगता है, तो you're priceless. That happened. Now comes Gobind. An incident happened in the Navy. I was a cadet, humble moorings, had a mission, and became a Navy officer. The only time Government of India made a mistake was when I joined the Navy. When I was appearing for CDS exam, to be a science student is mandatory. I was an art student. But that was the only year, only time, the Navy somehow missed that one line that you have to be mandatorily science student. वो line कहीं में print से निकल गई. I qualified in that. What do you call it? I always told somebody angel up there, फौज join करनी है, सिर्फ Navy join करना है. And I was a Navy officer with arts graduation. But in the CDS, I was 28th across India, 10,000 students. So there was this passion that I want to join. Coming back to the point. What all transpired, it began from one little incident that Indian Navy purchased a ship original priced at $800 million. Due to honey trapping, we paid $3 billion. Only one officer, a Commodore, was sacked. The polity got away with free, Babus got away free. Now that became the theme of the article, which then became a book titled Gobind. How it happened in St. Petersburg. So I went to St. Petersburg. I wanted to know where was that lady, who was that lady who was the chief of honey trapping. And guess what? No idea, no name, nothing. I still met her. How? It'll take me a long time. But that very time, sometime when I came back, a few years ago, when I came back from St. Petersburg, I saw a film called Silver Skates. And Michael Lockshin, the director, had done a fantastic job, and I wanted him only to do Gobind in the film. So I was searching for him in St. Petersburg like a mad dog, smelling here, smelling there. Nothing happened. But 2 years ago, I was in Harvard Business School. My son was graduating, and he said he went to some coffee shop, something, and he found one lady clicking pictures of her daughter. And he went to her and says, "Will you take pictures of me taking the special award?" He was amongst the top 15, 10 percentile of the school. I don't know how he managed that. I asked his professor, "Can you copying chalti hai?" But the fact is that he wanted in pictures. So the lady in question, the photographer, was taking pictures, and then she said, "Okay, why don't you also stand?" So I said, "You are from where?" She said, "I am from St. Petersburg." I said, "I have a man in mind. His name is Michael Lockshin. I want him to direct my film." She says, "It's very expensive." I said, "You know him?" "Yes, I know him." "How much?" $250,000. I said, "Given." "No, I can guarantee you I cannot afford." But tere parose mein laad ladaya. You learn something, you have faith. She connect. Here is the number. Talk to him. How on earth? He says that he's in Los Angeles. Talk to him. My son picks up from Starbucks a lady who's clicking pictures. She has Michael Lockshin number. Possible? These are not miracles. If you are keen, passionate, the world will search you out. Read Gobind, I request you. I urge you, because in that mother's faith reflects my mother. When I was joining Navy in 1979, my mother came down from the DDA flat in Janakpuri and said, "हो सकता है जंग हो जाए कहीं, मेरे दूध की लाज रखना, घाव पीठ पे नहीं आना चाहिए, यहाँ आएगा." How does a mother say like this? So, somewhere I'm talking to you with such passion. Somewhere miracles are not happening. If you make it happen, they will happen. That is Gobind. Thank you very much.
Can we open the floor to the audience for audience questions? Yeah. So, sure. Yeah.
How would you differentiate between your passion and destiny? Maybe.
Okay, for the other people to know what I am asking you, you talked about passion, of course, you've been passionate and that's what you are passionate about. But how do you differentiate between the passion and destiny? Maybe you are destined to come to the level that you are as on today.
You see, I have run through a lot of astrologers, very famous ones. They will tell you that this will happen, that can happen, so on and so forth. I've never believed in them. I remember when I was getting married, 1985. The astrologer told me, "इस दिन शादी मत करना, मंगल ग्रह या कुछ है." तो I said, "नहीं, शादी तो अब इसी दिन होगा." इससे 8 बजे रात को बारात नहीं जाना चाहिए। तो I said, बारात तो रात को 8 बजे ही जाएगी। तो he said कि साहब आप 2 साल तक ऐसा ऐसा करना है। I said, वो सब करूँगा। इससे 3 महीने नहीं बचोगे। और वो 3 महीनों को तो कई महीने चले गए। You see, destiny is what you make. The space between these 2 ears, 6 inches, the entire universe is there. God has no animosity with you. or whoever is the creator. First of all, whether that is call it God or, you know, वो तो हर जगह में कोई एक शक्ति है, power है. But somebody, if my watch is a creator, our body also. Talk to him. So आप उस लेवल पर आके सरेंडर कर दो, जिद पकड़ लो कि ये करना ही है. He listens. In my case, it is happening. So I don't believe in that destiny part.
So I have a question. There was another film which was made on corruption regarding a warship, which was Rustam. And from what you just described, Gobind talks about a much bigger kind of scandal, right? Has this been made into a movie already?
We are working on Gobind. You see, when my first of all, this Rustam was enacted by Akshay. Akshay and I were to make Razi together, but I got engaged with Akalis, so they were not Razi with Razi. So then this went to. The incidents what I've mentioned in the book, I have tweaked it a bit. I have not punished that officer alone. I've mentioned trade facts. But then what I've shown is that you people are not aware. Thank you for asking this question. How many of you know, barring a few, that when you join military, you all enjoy fundamental rights? We don't. How many of you know this? We do not have right to speak, right to express, right to even marry. Military takes away these rights. If as a military man I marry a foreigner, I am mandatorily court-martialed. No, no sir. Court-martialed, thrown out. Board of inquiry is mandatory. अभी थोड़ा सा sleek lack हुए हैं गोविंद के बाद. So this officer was the one who said that no, I will marry that Russian girl. So you see, I want to show in that Gobind in that film that when a soldier fights for you, how many of us remember that real hero? Bana Singh single-handedly took back Siachen. The temperatures in those areas started from -20 to go to -50. Single-handedly. He was a Subedar. He was made honorary captain. The government of India promised him 2.5 or 25, one of the two acres of land for free. Bana Singh has not been given 25 inches of land to date. A real hero. But real hero films, they make them, today those who are making pawns for their films, Balajis and so on and so forth, have got Padma Shri. Which world are we in? But we have no time. None of us will squeak. So there's a difference between real hero and real hero. What I've written over here is a story of 4 officers. One of them is me. I'm not saying we are heroes, because you become a hero when you are dead. I wrote these lines this morning actually. Stories are only for children. If God grants you karma, there cannot be a better reward, ladies and gentlemen.
Sir, there is a character in the book named Meera. Since your book relates to the real events, from where you picked that character? And okay, I'll stop here. Only next question I may not ask.
It's a very raw nerve you touched. Quick zamana tha, my father would walk 10 kilometers back home, save that 2 ana bus fare, and bring me 2 apples. Parents had come from from Pakistan, टीन की छत के नीचे रहते थे. पैसे नहीं थे घर पर. First 5 years I was still taught in a convent. I don't know how. My father's salary was 135 rupees. 28 rupees was the school fees. How? I do not know. All right. And as you grew up, father also did pass exams. He became, and we shifted to Janakpuri at that time and DDA flat and so on and so forth. So there was this girl who I thought I liked, or I thought she liked. But वो भूखे पेट भजन ना होए गोपाला, इश्क भी जो है ना खाली पेट नहीं होता. So I took that as a theme and shifted the base to Bihar. Because Bihar, mein, when you talk to those people in the village and see them doing binary on the sand, give them a figure 1549 multiplied by 1600 and something, they do binary and give you the figure. पैसे घर में नहीं हैं, but IAS बनना चाहते हैं. Dreams हैं तो पूरे भी होते हैं. That's what I'm saying. Take the book to Bihar. Start Gobind from there. So there was a Meera in somebody's heart. And actually, there is a Meera in everybody's mind. Your character, you build it in your mind, that character comes and stand in front of you. Michael Lockshin did. From Los Angeles, St. Petersburg, I am searching for him. 2 years later, I find him in where? Los Angeles. And he's honestly said that I will shoot for you, but only in St. Petersburg. Bollywood meri samajh ke bahar hai, he says. All right. So purity, if your thoughts are pure, if a walking dog on the street is a cause of your hatred, you're not human. And I see more inhumans.
I have two small comments about the book. Chapter 6, page 49. You say the bullock cart left Ranjit Haveli. Village people was escorting Gobind to the railway station, and you write a sentence, the village cart, the bullock cart left Ranjit Haveli. Ranjit had a small, what do you mean by Haveli? And another point also.
No, sir. You are living in a Haveli depending on your mind, state of mind.
Okay.
You can be in a palace inside your small 3 by 4 feet or 5.
Okay. So that's
but it is up to your state of mind. I've seen people not comfortable in palaces.
Okay. Gobind started working, and you have not reflected his income, how his income changed the lifestyle of the Ranjit and his wife.
You see, my parents were happy when we had nothing. My parents, can you hear me, sir? My parents were very happy when they had nothing. As we grew up, started doing well, income also, yes, changed, but they began living like a king. Happiness is mental. Hunger is physical.
And headmaster
Sir, can we...
came to know that Gobind is working in Leningrad. Is it against the security issue?
No. Whoever those days used to go to, they were monitored by KGB. So they had automatic more security than the government of India could have provided.
So
They are followed by KGB, even today when there is no KGB. But So arm dealers they get backing from the contractors, no? They're part of the honey trapping.
Okay. So I have two very quick questions. First, you have quoted a lot of Kabir in the book, which is actually very beautiful to read. I think somewhere, I mean, Kabir said all those things which are still so relevant and prevalent today. So what made you use Kabir in the book? You've used him 2-3 times.
You see, I have not seen Nanak. I have not seen Kabir. You read Nanak and you read Kabir. There's not much difference. You know, when I was climbing up the Vigyan Bhavan steps to receive the national award from Nargis Award for Best Feature Film, Bansali didn't get it. He was sitting next to me and he was, "Ye Sardar Pagal kaun hai? Isko award mil gaya, mujhe nahi mila." And he says, "How come? What have you done to receive this award?" So that is when I used that sentence, "Na hum kiya, na kar sakenge, na kar sake sharir. Jo kiya so hari kiya, bhayo kabir kabir." So you read it, you tell yourself that you are not a hero. Karma has been granted to you. Be blessed.
The other thing which I wanted to say, sir, is sitting here, listening to you, you know, we in Vasant Vihar, we've been wanting to start a film club, and we would love the first show of the Vasant Vihar Club Film Society to be your movie, if you give us the permission to show us. We have an auditorium where you've been before for your book club, and we would love to show this movie to the residents here and to the wider audience.
Please let me know whenever you wish to. I'll be more than happy.
That would be it would be our pleasure. I mean, it's like a dream come true because we've been thinking about it, and you have, I think, somehow enabled that this evening.
I have one more request, if I can. There are books lying here, Gobind. If you buy it, the money goes to the club. If not, I'll be humbly urge you with folded hands, take it as a gift from me, which will be paid for. But I would want club to feed animals with that money.
Thank you, sir.
Strays.
Though the money doesn't go to the club, it goes. So anyway, and the last thing which I wanted to ask you, sir, you do so much. I mean, you write, you have a full-time job, you write news articles, you play golf. How do you do everything? What makes it possible? I mean, what can we learn? How do we manage our time better so that we are able to achieve all these things? Isn't that something which we would all like to know about?
You see, again, I would talk to somebody wherever. ये थोड़ा crazy idea है कि I talk to somebody, but the fact is I do. So I said my book should be printed by Penguin, nothing less. और घर में नहीं दाने और अम्मा चली भुनाने. तो Konark published it, 2008. I would tell God that बस नहीं मिला. Konark 400 book नहीं बिकेगा. But that faith takes you there. Vichhoda, faith takes that woman to find her 2 children she lost in 1955, 65 years later. Faith. How did I find this book then? All the story, of all the people. So when this, I forgot that you had asked me this question. Manage. How do I manage? So I play golf, and I play with who's who, which doesn't matter to me. They could be who's who. आज हैं, कल वो who's who नहीं है. So one officer was playing golf with me, and he hit the ball 5:30 in the morning. He hit the ball on the right. It went to jungle, and we were walking together, and I was chatting with him. And he said he receives a call, and he says, "Oh shit! I brought my wife's key along and she is throwing a fit. My goose is cooked." I have to go. So I said, no, I'll save it. I have a driver there. Give me your key. I'll send the keys to your home. And शाम तक तो बहुत कुछ सेटल हो जाता है. So he says, okay. I wish I had introduced my wife to Chabi Master. Now he was a senior retired intelligence officer, head of बहुत बड़ा कैमरा लगे, but RAW. I said, now tell me who was this Chabi Master? He says, no, this is secret. I said, मुझे secret चाहिए ही नहीं. Tell me who was the Chabi Master. He says, Chabi Master was, how you write it, was a guy, a labor class fellow in South India who would steal bananas from a very old ancient temple. But he would open the strong room, eat 4 bananas every night and sleep there. At 5 o'clock or 4:30 he will get up and clean up the place outside verandas and safai karke chala jata. But he would not like to spend that night time in the town because they would abuse people, use them for drug trafficking and so and so. So he would find solace in that temple. So we caught him because my man, Swami, one of my people, was a trustee of this mandir. Now I have a full story. Next year, January, Penguin is publishing a book called Chabi Master, in which what this Chabi Master did overseas for India. There you go. Stories are there in all of us. You got to pick it up. How many of you know that Daud's right-hand man, Javed, was killed by somebody who was stealing bananas? So you want a story, it will come to you. You want 1 kg gold, it will come to you. आपको चारा बेचने वाला रेलवे मिनिस्टर बन सकता है. He wanted only that. So if our matka is like this, rain is falling, this will get filled up. But if this matka is empty, we have no desires, no dreams, rain gets pouring in, but nothing will go in. It's up to us what you want. That guy up there is all time available to you. That is why all thugs in the world are politicians. वो डे इन डे आउट उनको ये किसी तरीके से बैक डोर, राइट डोर, सेंटर डोर, पप्पू यादव्स ऑफ द वर्ल्ड, ऑल गून्स, अंसारीज ऑफ द वर्ल्ड. हाउ कम वी क्रिप ओवर हियर? हु केयर्स? They become lawmakers. Mulayam makes a statement and it doesn't stir our soul. ओ लड़कों ने कुछ रेप किया, वो लड़के तो ऐसी गलती कर जाते हैं. No. Soldiers are not expendable commodity. If you meet them somewhere in uniform, salute them or give them honor, a patriot will wake up in you. But we use them as expendable commodity. We don't care about the watchman standing outside.
Thank you, sir. I think we've all learned a lot this evening. Okay. पिक्चर है ना नानक शाह फकीर. हम वो शो के.
So, one last. Is it possible that for a rank outsider hires A.R. Rahman, Rasool Pukutti, both are Oscar winners, Gurujas, 2 Grammy Awards, Thomas Cantelinen from Hollywood, who made the Return of Hercules? Is it possible to have Pandit Jasaraj singing for you? Sonu Nigam, Kailash Kher, they all sang in the song, and they sang in the film. The film goes to Grammy Award winning I told them I don't want to walk the red carpet. I don't deserve it. All of them, as a fee, refused to charge me. They charged me 1 rupee. How is it possible, sir? How on earth a boat sinks on return? You are what your deep driving desire is.
So from a closing perspective, I have known Sir for a very long time. The first time we met, I was actually working with Penguin, and he was in office for, just a meeting around calling Sehmat. But I got to know him later on more when we started working on Gobind, and before that, Vichoda. And I've worked with thousands of authors because I have been in this industry for my entire life. One thing I've seen that wherever I go with him, the conversation which people come for is basically around the book, right? But actually, when they go back with something which is way larger, which is more spiritual, I've had people in the audience walking up to him, crying and telling him that he's reminded them of somebody in their family, and is enabled them to make a connection. And for me, just a little story that I keep telling him, my biggest gratitude, apart from all these wonderful places that he has taken me to, is that I've been working for the last 20 years. I have a child. Somehow it never occurred to me that I should cook. I don't know, maybe a sign of modernity or whatever. The only change which I am very personally grateful to him for is that after spending time with him, I've actually started cooking for my child. So, yeah. So I think when you go back, you'll go back with something which will be very personal to each one of you. But for me, I will forever be grateful. So, yeah. So maybe a book next as well.
I also went and met Angelina Jolie.
Angelina Jolie.
now everybody
Okay.
want to know how you manage that.
So,
I wanted her to act and I wanted to find her. So when you want something, it happens.
That's the thing. The guys will want to know how did you make it happen.
So I think we all need to start visualizing and things will happen. I think that's the big takeaway from the evening today. Believe in your belief is I think what we have learned here today. And thank you very much for being such a wonderful audience. As Mr. Sikka said, the books are available for sale at the back. I'm sure he would love to sign the copies and write some personal comments as well. I would like to thank Sumi Chatterjee, who is not here, for helping set this wonderful evening. And I would like to also thank Kanchan. She's the librarian here at the club, and she does a wonderful job of bringing this all together. So thank you, Kanchan, for all that you do. And thank you to all of you for being here, one event after the other, making sure that, koi log to aayenge book discussion mein, with that belief in mind. And now we have the film club starting. So please encourage more and more people to come and watch and get, involved with these small little discussions, because they are very personal and private. And it's a wonderful opportunity to interact with the author and learn, a little bit from him and understand what frame of mind the author was in when he was writing it. So with that short note, thank you very much for being such a wonderful audience. Thank you, Mr. Sikka, for coming here and being part of the book discussion. Thank you, Preeti. And we look forward to having you again at the launch of the movie.
See you at the movies.